Red wine is one of the worst stains to try to remove. Well, don't panic, all is not lost. Soak up as much of the wine as you can with a paper towel. And then, when your guests have gone, remove the tablecloth and go and fetch the borax. Now, borax is one of the most useful stain removers you could possibly have in your home. You'll see it cropping up a lot in our books as a cleaning remedy for everything from drains to bathtubs to even toilet bowls. It's been around since the early 1800s, but people have forgotten how good it really is. What with all the fancy cleaners on the market with colorful packaging and clever advertising. Anyway, here's what you do to remove that red wine stain. Fill a container with water hot enough to put your hand in without burning yourself. Now, I usually do this in my laundry tub, but I'm using this bowl here to show the transformation better. Now, you can do it in whatever you want. Then you just pour in a few tablespoons of borax into the water, and then you smoosh it around till it's all dissolved. Now, borax has amazing properties like restoring colors that have run in the wash and even cleaning carpet stains like pet accidents, would you believe? Now, if you don't have any at home, go out and get it. You can usually find it in the laundry section of your supermarket. Now, once it's all mixed in, you then simply take the item like this. Let's get rid of the paper there. Now you see the stain. You put it in the solution, smoosh it round a bit, like this, and now you don't see the stain. You've just rescued what could have been an expensive heirloom tablecloth, or an expensive dress for that matter, in a matter of seconds. And by the way, this works on old as well as new wine stains. Of course, with the older stains, you may have to soak it in the borax solution for a bit longer, but isn't that an amazing product? I just love it. Okay, now, let's just put this aside. Now, if you have children, you'll be able to identify with this next stain, the grape juice stain. I don't know whether it's the dye in it or the grapes or what, but one thing I do know, it's almost impossible to remove. Usually the only solution is to turn your child's grape-stained t-shirt into an expensive dust cloth. Before you do that, try using the same method that I used on the red wine stain. You take a bowl of water to which you've added a few tablespoons of borax, like this here. Now, you're not going to believe how easy this is. You then take the stained shirt, and you simply, see the stain on there? You dip it into the solution, like so. Smoosh it around a little bit in there, like that. And then a little bit more there. And then we take out a clean shirt. Is that amazing, or is that amazing? What I'm going to show you now is how to prevent a problem that all of you watching put up with every day of your life. When you get out of a nice hot shower and you look into the bathroom mirror to comb your hair or shave, what do you always see? Fog, right? Well, in my case, first thing in the morning, that's probably just as well. Anyway, most people end up either rubbing it off with a towel or the back of your hand, right? And it just keeps coming back. Well, you can easily prevent it ever happening again with something that's probably sitting within 3 feet of your foggy mirror. A can of ordinary shaving foam. Watch this. All you do is squeeze a blob onto the mirror like this. Then you rub it on with a paper towel, like so. Then you rub it off, like so. Because if you leave it on, it's worse than the fog, I assure you. Now you'll notice I'm just treating part of the mirror. So you can see the difference between the part that I treated and the part that I didn't. You keep rubbing until it's all nice and shiny again. It's all you have to do. Now watch as I apply some steam to the mirror to recreate the conditions in the bathroom. Now look at this. The part that I treated is perfectly clear. This part here. Is that cool, or is that cool? And wait for this. It lasts up to 4 weeks. Isn't that amazing? Many of us at some time in our lives have removing a ring from our finger. Most people know about the trick of soaping the finger so that the ring slides off easier. However, if that doesn't work, the usual alternative apart from leaving the ring on, which could be tricky if you're about to remarry, is to have the ring cut off by someone, which usually ruins it. Well, there is another way, and it involves using dental floss. Yes, here's how you do it. As you can see, the ring on my finger here is really tight and very difficult to remove. My wife Rosemary made it this way on purpose, actually. Anyway, all you do is take a 3-foot piece of waxed dental floss and thread it through the eye of a needle, like this one here. Now watch carefully. You thread the needle blunt end first under the ring, like so. Remember the blunt end first. Then you remove the needle, oops, and set it aside. You then take the long end of the dental floss and you wrap it fairly tightly around your finger, like so. Now make sure it goes right over the knuckle, like this. Now what happens is your finger will go from a reddish color to a pale blue, then black probably, and then fall off, enabling you to easily remove the ring. No, just joking. You then take the short end of the dental floss, this end here, and you unravel it like so. Now you'll notice, as you unravel it, it forces the ring over the knuckle, like this, and off the finger. There you go. You've just removed your ring without having to have finger surgery. I think we all know how frustrating it can be to lose something really tiny on the floor or the carpet. Might be your contact lens, your earring back, the diamond from your ring. Well, instead of crawling around on all floors for hours searching for it, there is a much easier way to find that errant article. Oh, I like that term, errant article. It flows drippingly off the tongue, doesn't it? Anyway, the trick to finding that small lost item involves using a vacuum cleaner. But no, you cried, my diamond will be cleaner and I'll never find it. That doesn't belong. And cut a leg off with a pair of scissors. Off the pantyhose, that is, like so. Now, you could also use an old knee-high if you wanted to. And then you place the leg over the wand of your vacuum cleaner. Let's just get the cleaner like this. And then, once you've done that, you turn the vacuum on, and you vacuum the area. And in no time at all, that missing diamond should be sucked up on the end of the wand like this. So you then just pluck it off and put it away safely. Quick, simple, and satisfying. One of the most common household problems, and one which we get asked about more frequently than anything else, is how to remove a stain from something. Well, the reason it's such a problem is because most of the stains around the house result from a spill or an accident of some sort, and most stains tend to set very quickly. So, if you don't happen to have the correct stain remover on hand, you're out of luck. You often end up having to throw the stained item out. Unless, of course, you know how to use one of the dozens of everyday products you already have in your home to remove that stain before it gets a chance to set. One of my favorite emergency stain removers, you probably already have some in your garage, waterless hand cleaner. Its main purpose is to clean grease off your hands. Mechanics use it all the time. But its cleaning properties go far beyond that, believe me. In fact, I believe it's the most versatile stain remover you could possibly have in your home. So if you don't happen to own any, go out and get it. You can usually find it in your hardware store, and actually I've also found that many supermarkets are now carrying it now too. Anyway, let me show you just how amazing this stuff is. What I'm going to do first is create what I call the stain from hell on this nice white shirt here. First, let's put in some chocolate sauce into this bowl. The stain that most mothers would like to avoid, chocolate sauce. And then we'll add something that causes one of the biggest problems in the house, really difficult to remove, the dreaded spaghetti sauce stain. And if anybody's got spaghetti sauce on their favorite top in the past, you'll know what I mean. Now, to add insult to injury, we'll even throw in some mustard. The stain, which 9 times out of 10 results in either throwing the garment out or consigning it to a life as a cleaning cloth. Now let's mix it all together. Then we'll put some on this nice white shirt here, like so. Oh, yuck, there you go. Oh my gosh, I'll never get that out. Well, don't panic. Just wipe up the excess with a paper towel first, like so. And then take a blob of waterless hand cleaner in your hand, like this, and put it on the area, like so. And then you simply rub it in with your hand like I'm doing here. Now, you can also use a toothbrush if you prefer. Sometimes it gets down into the fibers easier. Now, I've used this stuff to remove stains like coffee, tea, blood, even pet accident stains on carpets. It really is amazing what it removes. Now, as you can see, the stain is getting all loosened up. In fact, it's almost gone already. I think it's time to give it a rinse in some cold water. All we do is agitate the item, in the cold water, like this. I usually like to play it safe and use cold water. Stains, especially non-greasy stains, can often be set by using hot water, and you don't want that, do we? Okay, let's have a look at our stain now. There you go. Oh, what stain? It's completely gone. And that was chocolate sauce combined with spaghetti sauce combined with mustard. And we removed it from what could have been with something that was sitting a few yards away in our garage. Fresh produce like onions, potatoes, even garlic need two things to make them last longer when they're stored. They need separation and they need airflow. If they don't have airflow, they usually tend to go off faster. And if they're touching each other, as we've all seen, one goes off, it spreads to all the others that are touching it. Now, you can't get separation in a vegetable bin, and you can't get airflow in a plastic bag. But you can get both separation and airflow in a pair of pantyhose. Let me show you what I mean. Now, before I show you this, you have to promise not to laugh. This is a very serious hint. Ta-da! I know, it does look a little strange. You could probably scare burglars away with this. Anyway, let me show you how it works. What you do is you drop an onion into the foot of one leg, and you tie a knot above it like this. Drop another onion on top of that, and tie another knot above that one. Continue all the way up the leg, and then do the same with your potatoes in the other leg. And this way, they get all kinds of airflow through the pantyhose, and they're separated, so they can't infect each other if one does go off. Then all you do is hang it behind your kitchen door or in your pantry. That way it's out of the way, and your neighbors can't see it, because there's no telling what rumors they'd spread about you. Then when you need an onion or a potato, you either cut one off with a pair of scissors, so, whoop, there it goes. Or, if you're frugal like I am, you make a slit in each compartment with a knife, like this. That way you can refill the unit device thingy. I have a friend from England whose advice for dealing with problems in your life is to sit down and have a nice cup of tea. Now, this may not work for all of us, but here's a piece of advice she also gave me that can work for all of us. I was remarking to her on how difficult it is to remove those stubborn tea stains on the inside of my teacups, the ones caused by the tannin in the tea leaves, saying to her that it's kind of embarrassing to offer your guests. It looks like this. It looks like it hasn't seen a dishcloth in years. She promptly took me into her kitchen, opened up a cupboard door, and took out a box of baking soda. "This is the secret, darling," she said. So let me share with you that secret. As you can see, this cup is really badly stained. Now watch this. I take a soft cloth and I sprinkle a little baking soda onto it. Then I simply wipe the inside of the cup like so. And by the way, this method also works on your kitchen countertops. You won't believe how well it removes different kinds of stains. Now, once you've given it a good wipe, you just rinse it off in some water, like this, and there you go. Look at the difference. Many people don't even notice what this is. until it starts dripping grease on the nice clean stovetop. Yes, it's that filter thingy above your stove cooking. It would be easy to just throw it away and buy a new one instead of trying to clean it, right? Wrong. I'm going to show you how to get your kitchen exhaust fan filter looking new with hardly any effort at all. All you need is some water softener. Now, if you don't have water softener, go and get it from the laundry section of your supermarket. You also need a toothbrush. I use a denture toothbrush because the bristles are usually firmer than a regular toothbrush. Then you take a basin of warm water like this. Now, obviously you could do this in your kitchen sink if you prefer. I'm just doing this so you can follow my demonstration better. See? Don't tell me I never think of you. Then you add about half a cup of water softener, like so. And then smoosh it around until it's all nice and dissolved. Get it all mixed in there. There you go. Once it's all dissolved, then you simply take your dirty filter and you pop it into the water like this. Then you take your toothbrush and you gently brush the filter back and forth across the filter, like so. Don't you have to do it hard, just gently, like this. No more. Now look at this. See the difference? And it's so easy. Now, isn't that better than throwing it out and going to all the trouble of going down to the store to buy a new one? And think about it, with the money you save, you could always buy me something nice. No? Uh-oh. It's the dreaded silver cleaning time again. Not the most popular household chore, is it? For very good reason. No one likes to sit for hours scrubbing away at their silver. All that sweat on your brow, all that black stuff under your fingernails, right? Well, how about if I show you how to get all your tarnished silverware to literally clean itself? All you do is run the water from your hot water tap into your kitchen sink. Now, we're doing this today in this little fry pan here, so you can just see it easier. But you can use whatever container you want. A plastic basin or even a large heat-resistant bowl will work. Make it as hot as you can stand it, because the hotter the water is, the quicker it works. But not too hot. You don't want to burn it. You add about a tablespoon of salt. We've all got salt in the house, haven't we? A quart of water should just about do it. About the same amount of water as this. Then you smoosh it around until it's all nice and dissolved. I got a spoon here somewhere. Just use this one here. If you don't have water softener at home, go out and get it. It is so useful. You can usually find it in the laundry section of your supermarket. It's great for all kinds of things like removing those dreaded chocolate stains from your kids' clothes, cleaning your kettle, even for cleaning those impossible broiler pans. Great. Now, once you've got it all mixed in, you take a sheet of ordinary aluminum foil, like so, and place it in the water, like this. Now, it doesn't matter which side, if you're in a dull mood, put the shiny side up. Might help. And then you place your silver item on top of the foil under the water, like I'm doing here. You leave it for about 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's already done. Look at this. Isn't that amazing? Look at the difference there. How it gets, and also how it gets right into those difficult, tight areas. Now, I'm just cleaning a few things at a time here, but your sink at home will be much, much deeper. So you could put in a whole bunch at once. And if it's a large item, like a silver tray, you just do it in your bathtub. You can roll it in the water like I did here. And as long as it is under the water, touching the foil, it'll clean itself. Isn't this neat? Look at this. Then, make sure you rinse the silver in the cold water afterwards, like so. And then dry it really, really well afterwards. Now, if you haven't cleaned your silver in a million years, when you take it out of the water the first time you use this method, it might look like nothing has happened. But all you do is just buff it up with a soft cloth, and it'll shine up beautifully. Oh, a small thing to remember, the only time you can't use this method is when you're cleaning silver jewelry that has stones in it, or silver items that have that black antiquing on it. But other than that, you're off to the races. You'll clean every piece of silver you own in about 5 minutes instead of 5 hours. Makes it so easy.
We'll be right back with more of Haley's Household Heroes in a moment.
Hello, everyone. I am Ernie Manous, and I know when you see somebody pop up like me, you know, uh-oh, they're going to ask for pledges. But the important thing is just think about all the wonderful things you've just seen. It was like a magic show where all the secrets were revealed. Yep, it's that easy. That cleaning of the silver, how amazing. How much money would you save doing that? Or taking the wine out of the tablecloth? Well, right now, all of those savings have a very good place to go. A true investment you can make with that money, and that's to public television. And how do you do it? You go to the phones. The number's right there on your screen, and you make a pledge. And we, because we're public television, have lots of ways to thank you. First way we thank you, great programming. We promise you that, and that's what you get. Also, don't go anywhere, because Graham Haley is right here in the studio, and he's going to be showing you more tips. And there's more of the show coming up, so you don't want to go anywhere. Let me tell you about some of the ways we'll say thank you. Of course, always become a member. At your basic membership fee, become a member of your public television station. That's important. We need you to do that right here at this station. Then, $75 level. How do we say thank you? How about one of Haley's books? This book, Haley's Cleaning Hints, $75 level. In it, all the things you need to do, 1,000 tips on how to clean things. Everything from, I don't know, from spaghetti sauce to blood stains. They might look alike in the beginning, but they make very different problems on your carpeting, clothing, material. In here, how to clean them. You want to go a little higher? You want to pledge a little more money to public television? We'd be happy to take it. $150 level, we will say thank you with the show you've just seen. We are seeing, I should say. We will show you the show you're going to get. It's Haley's Hints and Haley's Hints 2. Now, you think, well, I'm going to see these shows. Well, you're trying to write down these tips. Well, they are all here down, plus on each videotape an extra 20 minutes of material. So that's like getting 40 more minutes of material. It's like getting a third show. All that at the $150 level. Now, if you're like me and can never decide, do I want the book? Do I want the videos? We've taken the thought out of it. At $240, we'll with both the 2 videos, plus the book on cleaning, plus a book you're going to hear a lot about today. It's the Haley's Hints, the original book, the wonderful book, over 2,000 tips. You get both books, both the videotapes, and that little thing there, that is the tip tote. One of our favorite things, we're going to put that in there too. It's got a great shopping list on one side and a way to clean things on the other. And you know what? That comes in the kit. If you decide to charge anything from a basic membership on up, we'll toss this in as a special thank you. But now someone who you really are waiting to hear from. It's Doris Childress and her guest. It's Graham Haley.
Thanks, Ernie. Graham is here with us, and we've got so much to do. Oh, this stuff is amazing. This is that water softener. I'm getting some of that.
It is so useful, believe me. I'm just going to show you yet another. It's great for chocolate stains. Okay. You know, the stain that strikes fear in the hearts of moms? Well, it's great for that. But one thing that I really like it for is for your coffee thermoses and your coffee flasks. Okay. Now, what I've got here is a coffee thermos, and if we can get a close-up
here,
in there.
It's filthy. You should get a close-up.
Look how yuck, it's all brown and yucky in there. Does anybody recognize that?
Yeah, that's the one you left out a week or so.
It's very simple to get rid of that. All you do is you take some water softener, sprinkle a couple of about 3 or 4 tablespoons in there, and then you take some hot water and you pour some hot water in, fill it right up to the top, and then you let it sit for a while. So while I'm letting it sit, I'm going to show you yet another amazing hint. Look at this, it's already starting to clean up.
It's already starting to work.
Amazing? Before
you go to your next hint, these 2 books, what's the difference? Because everybody's like, oh, they're both hints, they're both hint books, so you get the same stuff. We're not getting the same stuff in these books.
Okay, that's a very good question. Basically, what they are, first of all, we have Haley's Cleaning Hints book.
That's right.
And the Haley's Cleaning Hints book has over 1,000 ways to make your cleaning so much easier. What it does is it introduces you to your household heroes, ordinary products with multiple cleaning abilities that come to your rescue in time of need. That's basically what they do. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. So that has literally to clean everything. It also contains in it, believe it or not, solutions to over 250 different stains. Right there.
Lots
so you
of stains.
Never have to worry about stains. All you have to do is save one item of clothing, you know, a dress or a beautiful blouse or something like that.
And
you probably save yourself, you know, $60, $100. You're right off to there's a pledge right there. Isn't that amazing?
Now let's talk about this one. Now this is the book that Ernie and everybody in the studio has been fighting over, and I'm taking mine home. No one's getting these books. Let's talk about this book.
Okay, well, this book, first of all, the Cleaning Hints book, I should also mention, is a 250-page book.
That's right.
This is a 400-page master book, this one here. This has everything in it from cleaning to kitchen magic, things that you can do around the kitchen, ways you can save a lot of money around the kitchen hints. For example, never bother, you don't have to clean your blender, take it apart to clean it or anything. Like people take the bottom off, they take the blades out, they take the rubber ring out, then they got to make time to put the Band-Aid on the finger from cutting it on the blades. All you do is top it up 3/4 with hot water, add a little dish soap, and blend it clean.
But you're not just keeping us in the kitchen with this book.
Oh, that's just the kitchen.
Oh,
we also cover pet hints. We cover pest control. You'll never buy another pest control product as long as you would. Yes, picnics and camping and that kind of thing.
Everything's in there.
It covers carpentry, plumbing, painting tips, electrical. Oh my God, gardening, huge gardening chapter. And for pet owners, we have a whole chapter devoted to pet owners, plus a whole chapter devoted to making life easier for seniors.
Let's do a quick demo before we go back to Ernie, because we want to talk about how to get all of this.
Candle wax off your candlesticks. You know how they get it? Well, you can put it in the freezer and let it sit in the freezer for a while and then chip it off because it gets brittle. You could do that, but it works. Then the other thing you can do, especially if it's on your table or on your candlestick, is just get a hairdryer. Turn your hairdryer on hot, okay? And you train it on the candle wax. And what it does is it melts the candle wax, and then all you do is you take a paper towel and you wipe it off once it starts to run. Now I'm going to angle this a little bit over there so they can see it a little better. And you will see, as I'm doing it now, you see it starting to run there? Look at that.
Wow.
Now, at a certain point, you just wipe it away, like so. I'm going to put it on a little longer. Get it off there. And if it's on your carpet, then we're going to show you later in the show how to get it off your carpet. It's unbelievable. All it is paper towels and an iron. It's the same principle of heating the wax. So I'm just going to wipe that off there. Switch this off.
Now you've got that clean. I'll turn that off. Before we go back over to Ernie, let's show the magic that happened in that coffee pot.
Oh, okay. Let's just see that. Oh, here it is here. I'm just going to empty out here in this bucket what we just did.
So much
and then I'm going to rinse it out with a little bit of clear water, regular water, okay? And empty that out. Okay. Now watch this. Now look at this.
Look how clean that is.
Isn't that incredible?
That is amazing.
And that's just water softener.
We've got more tips coming up, but we're going to go over to Ernie, and then I'll tell you how to get this wonderful combo. But I'm going to make you wait. Ernie?
But I'm not. I'm going to jump the gun on it and tell them how to get it myself. You know, that pot just sparkles and shines just like public television. Isn't that nice? Okay, here we go again. The phone numbers are on the screen. They're very important that you take the moment right now. Remember, the show's not going on. What we're doing right now is, in a sense, just filler. Filler to give you a chance to go and make that pledge. Because we know you want to, but oftentimes you're caught up in the program and you think, I don't want to miss anything. We understand that. Of course, if you pledge at the right levels, you won't have to miss anything, plus you'll get extra bonuses too. It's our way of saying thank you. Let's start at the $75 level one more time. I'm going to say thank you with the Haley's Cleaning Hints. It's important you realize that. These are different books. This one has 1,000 tips on cleaning. I mean, remove yellow stains from the bathroom sink and stuff. How do you do that? It's in here. How to clean your oven without any hassle, any effort. It's in here. The cleaning book. The $150 level, we say thank you with 2 videotapes. These are the 2 videotapes. They're right here. They are Haley's Hints and Haley's Hints 2. They each have 20 extra minutes of footage. That's 40 extra minutes. Like I've said before, it's like a full extra show. What next? At the $240 level, we'll say thank you with this book, with these 2 videotapes, and an added special bonus in the big Haley combo. You get this book, Haley's Hints. It's the first, the most important. 2,000 tips in this book. A lot of what you're seeing today was drawn from here, but remember, even if the show went on for 8 hours today, how many hints would you learn? This book has 2,000 of them in there. You get the whole thing, the 2 books, plus the 2 videotapes, plus we're going to throw into all of this the tip tote. I say throw in like it's nothing, but it's incredible and wonderful. And hey, if you charge anything from the basic membership up, we'll give you one of these too. It's just an added thank you. So, here, I've told them already, Doris.
Thank you for doing that, but I've got to go back and talk about this book just a little bit more. It does so much. It has so much information. Missing laundry socks, talking about getting candle wax out of your carpet, getting rid of the ant problem and mosquitoes and all of that stuff, getting rid of all of that, keeping mosquitoes away. Only in this book.
That's right. That's the one with the 240 pledge level, I think it is, isn't it?
That's the only way you can get it, pledging at the 240 level.
And the Cleaning Hints book is the $75 pledge level,
I seem to remember. You are correct.
There you go.
But that's why you have to have this book at the $240 level. It is the Haley's Hints book. It has every everything in there. Try to get static out without all those commercial products. You can do it with this book, saving you money, saving you time. $240 level, Haley's Hints book, and then you get all these other special things. And this wonderful gift that he created especially for public TV.
Now here's a problem that most people can identify with. You're in the middle of making toast, and all of a sudden you notice this burnt smell. But it's not a burnt toast smell, it's a burnt plastic smell. Well, if you have a plastic bread bag anywhere near your toaster, that's probably what's causing it. The plastic bread bag and the toaster are like magnets to each other, especially if you're in a small kitchen with limited counter space. Anyway, what you end up with after you've ripped the bag off the side of the toaster is usually something like this. Plastic residue and a carbon copy of what the bread bag looked like. Now you could try to scour it off with an abrasive scourer, but that would leave scratches on the surface. Here's a much easier and less damaging method. Go to your bathroom and fetch the nail polish remover. Make sure it's the kind with acetone in it, and grab a few nail wipes while you're at it. And all you do is pour a little remover onto one of the wipes, like this, and then what you do is you rub it onto the mark, like this. Now, if you don't have nail wipes, you can use a soft cloth or even a paper towel. Now look at this. It's all coming off. Isn't this clever? And then once you've got it all off, you can get your toaster all nice and shiny again by buffing it with a paper towel, like so. Now look at that shine. And by the way, make sure that the toaster is unplugged and cooled down before you use this method. And also be careful not to spill any of the nail polish remover on any of the plastic parts of the toaster. Remember, it removes plastic. Otherwise, just have fun. In case you're wondering what I'm doing here, I'm cleaning my copper with this amazing copper and brass cleaner. The nice thing about this copper cleaner is that it's totally non-abrasive, so that it's not going to harm your copper. In fact, if you look closely here, you can see it actually cleans while it runs down the side. Just look at that. Isn't that amazing? Now, how many store-bought copper cleaners do you know that can do that? It's so quick and easy. And by the way, this copper cleaner is also environment friendly. In fact, you can actually eat this copper cleaner, but best of all, it's virtually free because you already have it in your home. A lemon and some salt. That's all it is. Here's how you do it. First, you simply cut a lemon into quarters, like I've done here, and then you dip it into some salt. Once you've got a little salt on the lemon, you simply stroke the copper, like I'm doing here. Now, you don't even have to rub hard, because as you can see, it cleans really, really easily. Now, look at the difference between where I've cleaned and where I haven't yet. Isn't that great? Now, once you've cleaned the piece, make sure you rinse it immediately in some cold water, like this. Now, you can also use a wet cloth, but just make sure that you get all the salt off. There you go. That's pretty good. And then when it's all nice and clean, take a soft towel or a cloth and dry it really, really well, like so. Now, this is important because usually the reason copper tarnishes is because of moisture in the air. Now, what I like to do next is take a little lemon oil. You know the stuff you use on your wooden furniture. Pour a little onto a soft cloth, like this. And then all you do is rub it over the surface, like this. And what it does is it adds a nice luster to the copper, and it also prevents it from tarnishing as quickly, so you won't have to clean it as often. Now, if you don't have any lemon oil, you can use car wax instead. It also works well. So there you have it, a copper piece that looks like new with little or no effort, and the satisfaction of knowing you did it with something you already have in your home. Isn't that just dandy? How many times has this happened to you? You're getting dressed in the morning, and as you pull your top on, you notice these white marks from your deodorant all over the sides of it. They really are unsightly and quite difficult to remove, especially if it's the white stick deodorant you're using. And you really don't have time to change your top because you're already late for work. Well, today's your lucky day. I'm going to show you how you can remove these marks in literally seconds with hardly any effort at all. All you do is grab hold of the nearest pair of pantyhose you can find. Bundle it up in your hand like this and simply wipe away the marks like so. Look how easily they come off. And this is one of my wife Rosemary's favorite hints, actually. And you can do this while you're still wearing the top, too, so you don't even have to take the time to remove it. And after all, topless cleaning isn't what it's all cracked up to be anyway. So, you've invited a bunch of friends over for dinner, and about half an hour before they're due to arrive, you remember to your horror that you forgot to clean the tile grout in your bathroom shower, and you don't have any tile and grout cleaner. Your first thought is to just pull the shower curtain across so they can't see it. But you and I both know the first thing you do when you visit someone's bathroom is you check behind the shower curtain, right? No, not because you have recurring nightmares after watching old Hitchcock movies. No, you do it because you're curious whether or not they keep their shower clean, right? Now, come on, admit it. It's right up there with the medicine cabinet inspection, isn't it? Anyway, if you want to give your tile grout a quick once-over before your guests arrive, simply take a tube of white toothpaste and a toothbrush and give the grout a quick scrub like this. Now, toothpaste has a mild pumice in it that removes the grout buildup but won't harm the surface. And then you just give it a wipe with a wet sponge, like so, and look at that, clean as a whistle. Now remember, this is purely an emergency method. For a more permanent tile and grout cleaner, you can make your own homemade version. This way you save money, and you also get to know exactly what ingredients are in your cleaner, which is kind of nice, isn't it? Here's the recipe. Simply add 1 tablespoon of ammonia to 3/4 of a cup of water, like I did there. And then you add 1 teaspoon of water softener, like so. And finally, 1 tablespoon of white vinegar. Mix it up well, like so, and then you pour it into a spray bottle like I've already done here. Now watch this. You simply spray the tile and grout with your homemade cleaner, and then once you've done that, you give it a firm scrub with a toothbrush. Now I like to use this denture toothbrush because it has nice, firm bristles. And it also has this little pointy brush on the back here that helps you get right into corners and things. Give it a good wipe with a wet sponge, like this, and there you go. Look at that. Neat, huh? Oh, and here's a quick tip for cleaning the floor tile in your shower. If you don't have time to scrub them, just go to your kitchen and get the container of dishwasher soap. You know the stuff that you use in your automatic dishwasher? Just pour some over the tiles and let it sit overnight. And then, when you take your shower in the morning, you just simply rinse it off with the shower water. Simple as that. There you have it. The brightest shower on the block, all using ordinary products you already have in your home. Makes you feel good, doesn't it? Most of the hints that we've collected over the years have been sent in to us by viewers and readers. Well, they also send us a lot of questions as well, so I'm going to answer a couple of them that I think you'll be able to identify with. Let's see. First of all, we got a letter here from Joe from Woodinville in Washington. And Joe writes, "Dear Graham, I have these concrete steps that I'm painting for the 3rd time in 3 years. Are there any clever tips you can give me to get the paint to last longer?" Well, yes, Joe, I can. There's a little tip that we often recommend for women when they're painting their fingernails with fingernail polish. If you want your fingernail polish to last longer, you apply a little white vinegar to your nail first and then put the nail polish on top of that, and it makes it last a lot longer. And it's the same with your steps. Just apply some white vinegar to the concrete first, let it dry, and then put your paint on after that. And you'll be surprised how much longer it'll last that way. It's a great little tip, so remember that. Now, let's see, what else have we got? We got an email here from Doreen. She doesn't say what city she's in. Let's see. "Hi, Graham, we live out in the country. Well, that's why she doesn't tell me what city, because she lives in the country. There you go. We live out in the country, and we like to entertain a lot in our backyard. The problem, however, is there's a farm nearby, and we always seem to get bothered by flies, especially when we're trying to eat. Ways to keep them off our food. Regards, Doreen. Well, Doreen, this often happens when you're camping, too, not only in your backyard. Well, there's a great little trick that you can use. A lot of insects don't like mint. For example, if you have spider problems in your cupboards, put down a couple of cotton balls with some mint extract on it. But for your food, on the side of your plate, what you do is you take some fresh mint, and you put it on the side of your plate. Or if you don't have fresh mint, you can use mint chewing gum. Just place it, and that will usually keep most of the flies off your plate. That's it for the... Let's go back to our regular programming. I love to cook. I especially love to cook foreign dishes. Now, this usually means that I need to use a recipe book. What I'm going to show you now is a really clever idea that I got from a chef friend of mine for a recipe book holder. As we all know, when you use a recipe book, three things are bound to happen. First of all, those pages keep flipping closed on you. So you grab the mayonnaise, and you put it on one page, and you grab the peanut butter, and you put it on the other page, right? Now, this holds the book open, but now you can't read the recipe. The second problem with using a recipe book is the amount of valuable counter space it takes up, especially if you have a small kitchen. And this leads to the third and most serious problem, ruining the recipe book with spills. No matter how careful you are, you know you're eventually going to spill something on it, right? What then happens is the spill dries, it seals those pages shut, and that recipe is lost forever. Well, here's how you prevent all three of these problems. Go upstairs to your closet and fetch an ordinary wooden pants hanger like this one here. If you don't have one, do yourself a favor and go out and buy one. You're just going to love this tip. All you do is simply open the book to the page you want, and then you simply clip the rest of the pants hanger over the pages like so. Now, this holds the book open perfectly and prevents those pages from flipping closed on you, which in turn prevents you from ending up with spaghetti cheesecake or something. But here's the best part. You then hang the recipe book up on one of your cupboard door handles, like so. You can read it real easy. It's up off the counter, so you're saving all that valuable counter space. And last but not least, you can't spill anything on it. Unless, of course, you intend to throw your ingredients all over your cupboard doors, and I can't help you there. What I have here in front of me are three common yet powerful products that most people have in their home. Vinegar, one of the most versatile items in your kitchen cupboard. If you have a bottle of vinegar at home, you will need to buy a chrome cleaner, a shower door cleaner, even a toilet bowl cleaner, not to mention a host of other clever uses too numerous to mention. Household ammonia, one of the most effective cleaners around, for making your oven cleaning a snap to removing burned-on buildup from your barbecue grill to non-streak window cleaning. If you can deal with its strong smell, it's a good friend to have around. And last, but not least, ordinary dish soap. A product that most people think is just for washing dishes. Oh no. Just as its lathering and grease-cutting ability cleans dirt off dishes, that same lather, when it's combined with toothpaste, can remove strong fish odor from your hands instantly. And when it's added to household bleach, it'll make cleaning those grimy white patio chairs a breeze. But when it's combined with these two items is when it really shines. No pun intended. A combination of these three products, white vinegar, household ammonia, and dish soap, produces one of the most amazing homemade carpet cleaners I have ever seen. Here's the recipe. Pour 3 tablespoons of dish soap into a container, like so, approximately. Then add about a teaspoon of white vinegar, like so. Then pour in about a half a teaspoon of household ammonia, like so. It's best to do this part in a well-ventilated area because the ammonia smell can be quite overwhelming. But believe me, that's well worth any short discomfort. Once you've done that, you then add about 3/4 of a cup of water, like that. And then you mix it up, and decant it into a clean foamer container like this one. Now, I find these containers so useful. You can find them in many stores and most pharmacies. They hold a variety of products that need to be dispensed in a foam. My wife Rosemary gets her face wash in these, actually. As an alternative, you can simply beat the mixture into a lather with an egg beater and then get the foam that way. I just find this a lot easier. And this is one that I've already filled. So let's get to work, shall we? Now, look how this foamer instantly creates its foam. I just love it. Watch this here now. All we do is we apply the foam to the carpet, just like I'm doing to this filthy rug here. Okay, now watch this. We then take a sponge, okay, and we rub the rug a little, like so. And look at this. Isn't this amazing? Look how it literally lifts the dirt right out. And by the way, you can also use this recipe on your upholstery. But remember to just use the foam, not the liquid. So now you know how to do it. Go make some for yourself and join in the fun. Now, I don't know why, but it seems that no one's been able to invent a rug with corners that don't curl. Not only is it unsightly, but it's downright dangerous, especially in an entrance hall where your guests are not expecting it. Well, until they do invent a non-curling rug, you can avoid a lawsuit by preventing it from curling with a self-adhesive floor tile. Here's what you do. You take the tile and you cut the corners off with a pair of scissors here, or a carpet knife if you prefer, like this. There you go. Then you peel off the backing, like so, and then you stick it on the underside of each corner of the rug, like so. Now, look at that. Not only does it help you prevent those nasty trips, but it also makes the rug look much neater, and you much smarter. Well, one of my favorite storage ideas has to do with storing large, bulky items, and I'm going to share it with you. When you start to run out of storage space in your home, you basically have two options. You can either build more storage space, which could be very expensive, or you could just reduce the size of the items you want to store so they'll fit into your existing storage space. Now, that would obviously be a much quicker, cheaper, and effective solution. Let me show you what I mean. What I've got here are 3 bulky pillows. Imagine the space these spare pillows would take up in your cupboard. Well, here's what you do. First, you stuff them into an ordinary garbage bag, just like I've done here. Next, you take the hose of your vacuum cleaner and you simply place it between the items like that, right? Right between the pillows. And then you take the mouth of the garbage bag and you draw it around the hose like this. Get it all in there nice and tight. And then you hold it tight, really tight with your hand like this, okay? And then you simply turn on the vacuum cleaner. And what happens is it sucks the air out of the items and reduces them to about 1/6 of their original size. Now, you can do the same with your winter clothes, your summer clothes, your bedding, even your kids' plush toys. In fact, anything soft and bulky that you want to store, except your husband, of course. Now, once all the air's out, you simply take the vacuum out and spin the bag like so, and then you wrap a rubber band around the top of the bag, like I'm doing here. Now, look how thin this is. I mean, isn't that incredible? Now, what I usually do then is I place them in a pillow sham, like this one here, and just simply leave it out on the bed. Believe it or not, you can get 6 pillows into 1 pillow sham that way. Now, how's that for space saving? Actually, you could also even put some of the shrunken items into some of those empty suitcases. You know, the ones that you have in your basement or your attic? It's a great way to store them. Then, when you want to use them again, watch this. You simply remove the rubber band, like I've done here. Let's just get this off. Let me just get this. The rubber band removal is the hardest part of this hint. And watch this. It'll just pop back to the former shape, like this. There. Isn't that amazing?
Why are all of these volunteers so excited? Because they just saw a bunch of wonderful tips and things that they can do to save money, to make things look better, shine brighter, fit in smaller spaces. And just think, all the money you just saved from getting these tips, you can pledge to public television. You can do it right now by calling the number on your screen, putting our volunteers behind me to work to help you have more television and better television and quality television, the kind of television you expect right here from public television. Now, the important thing is when you can pledge at, let's go right up to the top, $240. You know, that's less than 70 cents a day. 70 cents a day. What do you get? You get 2 videos, Haley's Hints and Haley's Hints 2. You get 2 books, Haley's Hints and Haley's Cleaning Hints, and you get what we like to call the tip tote. Now, if you charge all of this, you get 2 tip totes. What's a tip tote? It's a little card that helps you quickly answer a lot of questions you might have around the house, from stain remover to how do you know when you're buying a fresh melon. It's all on here. In a second, Graham Haley, who's here in our studio, will answer some of your questions because Doris is standing by with him with a whole bunch of great ideas and tips. But the important thing right now is that you go to the phone. Now, we understand some people can't afford just 70 cents a day. Remember that. So at the $100.50 level, let's try that again, $150 level, we can offer you both of the videos. It's Haley's Hints and Haley's Hints 2. And of course, at $75, we can offer you the book on how to clean just about everything. How many tips are in these books? Well, this book has about 1,000 hints. If you go with the big package, you get over 3,000 tips. It's that easy. But the important thing, the one tip I can give you right now that you definitely should use, make a pledge to public television. Make it right now. Call the number on your screen and ensure that you'll get this kind of quality programming coming into your home day in, day out. You raise your children on it. You get your news on it. You learn your business things. You have your entertainment, your fine arts. It's all here. It's public television, and you are the public in public television. So make that pledge right now. But more important, here's Graham Haley.
Right here in the studio with us. And you know, Graham, one of the things I wanted to say was that I realized, I had a party a while back, carpet got dirty.
Yeah.
If I had had your book, I could have saved all that money. Even with a coupon, I could have saved much more money if I just had the book. So it makes sense to pledge. Get this combo at the $240 level, and just think of all the money you can save, because you've got Haley's Cleaning Hints, Haley Cleaning Hints, and you've got the videos, you've got my favorite, the tip tote.
The tip tote, yep.
And he's got more stuff in the studio. Let's get to this, but you got to pledge.
Okay, well, what I'm going to show you, for those people who have just tuned in, I wanted to show you the silver cleaning hint. This is how you get your silver to clean itself, literally. It's such a good hint. I know we showed it earlier on, but I'm just going to repeat it now for those of you who've just tuned in. What you do is you run your hot water into your kitchen sink. You don't sit there polishing away. You don't need to do that. Run your hot water into your kitchen sink. I don't have a sink, so I'm just using this little pan here right now with some hot water. Hot enough to put your hand in. You don't want to burn yourself, remember. For every quart of hot water, you add a tablespoon of salt. Now, I've got a lot more than a quart in here, so I'm going to add a little bit more, and some water softener.
There's
now, if you don't,
water softener. I love that.
Again. If you don't have water softener, go and get it. You'll find it in the laundry section of your supermarket. Very easy to find, and then you smoosh it around. Now, normally it would take you about at least 3 or 4 hours to clean all your silver, all that black stuff under your fingernails, all that kind of thing, sweat on your brow.
You put a calendar, a little mark on the calendar. That's Saturday, clean silver. You know?
Exactly. And people hate doing it, and I don't blame them. Well, you will clean everything you own in a matter of minutes rather than hours, believe me. Take some aluminum foil.
Just regular old
foil.
Yeah,
it doesn't, either way.
Shiny side up only?
Actually, that's a very good question. It depends. If you're in a dull mood, put the shiny side up. It doesn't matter. Either way works. Shiny or dull, okay? And then all you do then is you take your silver item, and I'm going to hold these two together here so you can see. Look at how tarnished those are. They look almost bronze, don't they? Well, we'll put one in like so. And then you turn it, and look at this. As I'm turning it, it cleans.
Man, that's like
magic.
magic.
And there's one done already. And it is like magic, but you know what? It's magic that we can all perform in our own home. It's practical magic. And unlike a normal magic show,
easy.
I tell you how to do the magic. So there you go. We'll do the other one. Let's do the other one. We'll turn it, like so.
Oh, I want to do
as you-
one.
oh, absolutely. and what it does, if you notice, it gets right into the crevices. Imagine how long
you don't
it
even
would
have to
take
go
get-
in with a little brush.
And then all you do is rinse them in some water
Cold or
afterwards.
warm or
just
doesn't matter?
cold water doesn't have, just like that, just like I've done. You want to do one?
Yes,
yeah, why
I
don't
do.
you do this big one? Just put her in there like that. Now you see, these are, it almost looks bronze. That is so tarnished.
So I just put it in.
Yeah, and then
Look at that work.
now your silver jewelry also. Your not only your silver items, but look at that. Yeah,
I'm having
cleans
too
it
much
beautifully.
fun today.
And then
This
for
is
the
not work.
inside, you just put a ball of
I
aluminum
gotta rinse.
foil
I gotta
underneath the
rinse.
water. Now, what I'm going to do here are jewelry. You know, your silver
those
jewelry.
little bracelets,
Same
yeah.
thing. Look at this bracelet. Put her in. Take her out. Look at that. Right into the little crevices. We'll do the other one. Put her in. Take her out, and it's all done.
Oh, and this does not take up my Saturday.
Absolutely. Look at this one
You know,
here.
what I love on your
Wonderful.
book, you have the household heroes.
Well, you know,
Tell me about that.
Okay, household heroes is my name for the ordinary items that you have in your home that come to your rescue in time of need. Da, 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 da. And that's what they are. They are heroes because they will solve all these problems for you, and you have them right on hand. If you know how to use the ordinary items in your home, you have a gold mine sitting
You really
there.
do.
It's unbelievable. You can save yourself an absolute fortune, and you can be a hero because you can imagine being at someone's house and you've read the book. Okay, so you know a little bit about what's going on. Someone spills red wine on their carpet or something, and they say, "Oh my, what am I going to do?" You go to them and say, "No problem. Here's what you do. Just put a little bit of this on it, you know." And you do it, and it works, and everybody loves it. You have friends that you've never had before. Believe
And what
me.
else? You get invited back.
Exactly.
So you have got to get
That's how you
these
clean your
books.
silver.
This is the Haley Hints cleaning book, and then you've got Haley Hints and the 2 videos.
Yeah.
And you know, if you charge, we got
You
something
get the-
special.
the
You
tip
get
tip.
2 of these
We
tip
should
tips
mention that
with this big combo for $240.
We should mention that the Haley's Cleaning Hints book has 1,000 hints in it.
It has 1,000.
The
This
Haley's
has
Hints has
2,000.
2,000. That's the master book. Covers everything from cooking to gardening to workshop, plumbing, electrical.
Travel.
Even how to make your own facials, astringents, moisturizers, using items like yogurt and cucumber and eggs and things like that.
And let's not forget pets in the home.
Oh, if you own a pet, you own problems, believe me. This shows you how to clean pet accidents on the carpet.
Okay.
This kind of thing. Absolutely.
Let's take a quick little break and go back over to Ernie because we've got more stuff to show you.
I'm going to make a deal with you folks. You know, if you're not going to call because you're too busy watching them, then we can't bring them to you anymore. Nope, we're going to pledge. No, you're doing a wonderful job. If you haven't taken the time yet to make a pledge, do it right now. Pick up the phone, call in, pledge your support to public television. Now, the one thing they were just talking about, the big book, and we'll get to the big book in a second, but here is the second book, the cleaning book. This one we're offering to you at the $75 level. This is his cleaning hints. It's all the hints about how to, you know, when you do your laundry, colors running, hints here, how to stop them from running, how to get rid of stains. It's a wonderful book. There's I was going to say 1,000,000. There's actually only 1,000 tips, but 1,000's pretty good. It's right here in the Haley's Hints Cleaning Book, or the Haley's Cleaning Hints Book. Now, if you can go up to the $150 level, and we know not everyone can, but if you can get 2 VHSs. It's Haley's Hints and Haley's Hints 2. As we've said before, 20 extra minutes in each tape. That's 40 extra minutes between the 2 of them. It's like getting a 3rd show for free. One you won't see here on television because this is the extra footage. And these tapes are exclusive to public television. You can't get them anywhere else. So if you want them, this is the place to do it. But now, if you've heard about the big book, the master book, this is the best-selling book, Haley's Hints. You know, you can only get it in the big combo. And how do you get the big combo? You make a call right now, and you pledge $240, less than 70 cents a day. 2 books, 2 videos, plus you get the tip sheet. It's all there. It's our way of saying thank you. Remember, when you get a basic membership, you can charge it, and you'll get the tip sheet as our just special gift for taking the time to call.
And we've been talking about stains all day. Now, when we look into these books, will we get answers to all stain removal?
Actually, there isn't a solution to the Outer Hebridean Mongolian mountain goat saliva stain. I haven't found a solution for that one yet.
You'll have it next time.
But that'll be next time. No, there's solutions. I'm glad you asked that question, actually, because in the cleaning book, in this book here, there are solutions to over 250 different stains. And if you have more than 250 stains in your life, stay in bed all day. Don't go anywhere. That's what this book does.
Can you talk about pets just a little bit? I have 2 little puppies, and we get some, accidents because they're getting older.
Sure.
And they're kind of hard to get up, and then there's the aroma.
Oh, absolutely. That's the hard part. Well, in the book we show you how to mix your own pet accident remover, and it involves a little hydrogen peroxide and some dish soap and some baking soda. It's so easy to do, and it takes away the odor, and they won't go back to that same spot. In an emergency, you can use shaving cream. Shaving cream is great for getting the stain out. It's the most incredible emergency carpet stain remover, and if I've got time, I may even demonstrate that for you.
Let's do a stain right now, and then we'll go back to the books.
Well, on things like plush toys, it's difficult to clean, but you can't wash them, a lot of them, because of the stuffing inside. Right. So you need a spot remover. This is how you make your own spot remover. All this is a little, it's in the book, all it is a little rubbing alcohol in there and some water and a little dish soap. That's all it is. Now watch this. We've got a nasty little stain on Fred's tummy here.
Oh, Fred.
Fred, okay, Fred, you've been rolling in the mud again, Fred. That's what you've been doing. Just spray it on like this, and already you can see it starts to loosen it. And then take a toothbrush. Now a toothbrush, I use a denture toothbrush because it's got nice firm bristles. And look at that. There's Fred's tummy. All clean again. There you go, Fred. You're all done.
A lot of folks are watching you right now, and they're sitting down there just trying to write down every tip. Don't do that. Do not sit down and write the tips. Just watch Graham, because everything you'll need is in the book. Right here in the Cleaning Hints book, we're talking about 1,000 tips, 2,000 in Haley Hints. That's a lot of good stuff.
Well, yeah, there's 3,000 hints between the two books, between the cleaning book and the Haley's Hints book.
That's 3,000 together.
3,000. There's 2,000 in here, 1,000 in here. This book has everything that this book doesn't have. This is just cleaning. Lots of over 1,000 cleaning hints. This has gardening. Let me just show you something with gardening. Sure. It has gardening. You know, you will never ever have to buy, if you have the Haley's Hints book, the master book, you'll never have to buy a pest control product again as long as you live.
You're
Believe
kidding.
me, yeah. You have everything in your home to scare away everything in your home. And in the garden, you'll never have to buy those expensive gardening pest control things if you know a thing called companion planting. And that is, different plants have a symbiotic relationship between each other. They can keep the pests off each other. They protect each other. It's amazing. Now, for example, if you're growing peas, always plant a tomato plant nearby them. Tomatoes keep the bugs off your peas, and vice versa. If you marigolds are amazing for everything. You can plant marigolds virtually next to anything. It'll keep the bugs off them. Mosquitoes, that's great for keeping mosquitoes away. Plant marigolds around your deck, and that kind of thing, it'll keep the mosquitoes away.
So is your kitchen a little lab at home?
It is, actually. We test everything in our home kitchen, because that's how the people are going to use it. They're going to be using it in their kitchen, not only in their kitchen, but all around the house, because the master book also covers carpentry, plumbing, electrical, kitchen appliance repair, those kind of things. Simple things that you can do before you call in that expensive expert.
Now, this is a must-have at the $240 level. Don't forget, you can get the combo. That's cleaning book, and then that's Haley Hints, the master book, as we call it. Don't forget to charge. That's a good incentive there.
Actually asking you to do today, we're asking you to become a member of public television. Now I might say, but I'm already a member. Have you renewed that membership? Is this something you believe in? Remember, even at our highest level, we're talking 70 cents. Everyone can afford these. Is that you become a member of public television. Do that is by calling and making a pledge, and doing that right now. Now, we've added a special treat because, as we understand, the important thing is that you become a member. Not everyone can afford all the high levels we talk about, but if you become a basic member and charge, we'll throw in the tiptoe. Now, we've been talking about the tiptoe, and it's really cool because if you've got stains, I don't know if you can really see this too well on camera right now. If you've got stains, you can find the stain, and then down in the little boxes below, it tells you what to do to fix them. So we're starting off by giving you, it's our goodwill gesture. It's giving you something to get involved, and right there, just for charging. Remember, $75 level will send you the thank you book about cleaning tips. $50 level, 2 videotapes, and at $240, less than 70 cents a day, we send you 2 books, 2 videotapes. This little tiptoe, and if you charge it, we'll send you.
This is one handy book to have, and I love the way it has been laid out. So it's reading. The reading is so easy.
We had it purposely printed in. It's almost so easy to read.
You know, seniors really.
We have a whole chapter devoted to seniors, because seniors send in a lot of, we get our hints sent in from all over the world and from all different kinds of people, but especially seniors. They've been around, they've learned how to be, you know, intuitive and clever and all that kind of thing. Believe me, they've had the experience. I should also mention in the book, we do have a chapter in there called The Appliance Troubleshooter, and I mentioned briefly earlier. You know, before you call in that expert, there are things you can do yourself. I had a call from a lady a little while ago. She said, Mr. Haley, I'm really furious. I just bought your book. And before I bought your book, I had a problem with my washing machine, my washer, right? Clothes washer. And it wouldn't pump the water out. So I called in the expert. He walked in. He moved the washer away from the wall. That's all he did. And then he left and gave me a bill for $60. And that's all he had to do. What happened is the hose had kinked against the wall. Now, she said, I looked in the book, and in your appliance troubleshooter section, that's one of the first things they say you should check for. So she could have saved herself $60.
And had many more tips, too.
Yeah,
if she just, yeah, that's right. If she had invested in public
and another
television.
3,000 tips.
That's right, another three.
Right.
We've got something else we want to show you before we leave. Carpet.
Okay. Well, carpets, if you spill something on a carpet, if you don't get rid of that very, very quickly, it will sit. And if that stain sets, like this is a tomato-based stain, I just put ketchup on there,
because you don't always notice the stain.
Yeah, what most people do is they try to dab it up, and what they do is they make it worse. They just push it right down into the carpet pile. Well, what you do is you go to your book. Now, I should quickly show you here. In the back of the book, there is an index in both books, and it's an easy find index. It is 38 pages of index in this here, and you will look up carpet, you'll look up ketchup, you'll look up stain, you'll get to it, it's cross-referenced, and they'll tell you what to use. In this case, it'll say, go up to your bathroom and get your shaving cream, the foamy shaving cream. Shaving cream is the most amazing emergency carpet stain remover. Now look at that, you can't even see it anymore. Isn't that amazing? Right? Yeah, okay. Then you take a sponge, then you take a sponge and you push, you've got to chase that stain. You just push it down in there like so. Now this is a tomato-based stain, which is impossible.
It's always the hard one.
Virtually immediately. And then you rub it in, and then you rinse it off with a bit of water. I don't have time to do that. And then let it dry, and then you vacuum it. And look at that.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's why you have to have this.
Yeah.
Let me just remind them, $240. You will have Haley's Hints. You will have Haley's Cleaning Hints. The two videos, Haley Hints and Haley's Hints 2. And don't forget, Tiptoes. You get 2 of them with the charge incentive. You guys, you got to have this. So call us right now. Public television. Support it. We're going to go to another show. We're going to talk about ink stains, floor tile.
Yeah.
Do all of that. Okay, let's watch.
Hi, I'm Graham Haley of Haley's Hints. You know, often when I do live demonstrations of clever household tips and shortcuts, the response from people to the results is, wow, it's like magic. And they're right, it is like magic. But unlike regular magicians, I'm happy to share the secrets with you, so you can all perform your own magic. I like to call it practical magic, solving common household problems quickly and easily by clever use of the ordinary items and products you already have on hand. So sit back, relax, and watch as I take you on a magical journey through the cupboards of your own home. Ever put a pen in your pocket and it leaked ink all over your favorite shirt? Has someone walked past you at work and accidentally made a mark on your sleeve with a ballpoint pen? Chances are you threw the shirt away, which is a real waste of money. And at Haley's Hints headquarters, we don't waste money, we save money. And here's how you can save that shirt. All you need is 2 items that most of us already have in our home: a bar of regular bath soap and a can of ordinary hairspray. So, let's take this nice white shirt here and create an ink stain with this ballpoint pen. You know, I almost enjoy creating stains as much as I enjoy getting rid of them. Maybe I should seek professional help. That should be enough of a challenge. Now, here's what we do. We give the area a good shot of hairspray, like this. Now, don't be afraid to really douse it well. Now, hairspray is a very, very versatile item. You can use it in all kinds of ways, from removing static cling to getting your cut flowers to last longer. Hairspray can even make threading a needle much easier, but that's a hint for another day. Then you take the bar of bath soap and we give the stain a really good rub with it, like this. There you go. Now rub the soap right in. And then once you've done that, you then rinse it in some cold water. Now remember to never use hot water on a non-greasy stain. You'll usually set it. you'll have it forever. Maybe you'll give it a name. Call it Spot. Whatever. Okay, now let's take a look at our stain now. Oh, what stain? Isn't that neat? Think about it. We've just rescued what could have been a $40 or a $50 shirt. But before we put the hairspray away, let me show you another really bad stain which can be removed with hairspray. You know when you put your makeup on before you pull your blouse over your head and you end up with lipstick all over the blouse? Happens to me all the time. Okay, you can remove it easily with hairspray. Now I've already put some lipstick on this lovely blouse here, so let's give it a good shot of hairspray, shall we? There we go. That should do it. Now what we do is we rub it well with our bar of soap, just like we did with our ink stain. Give it a good rub in there. Don't be afraid to rub it hard. And then we rinse it off. Like this. Now with a greasy stain like this, you could use warm water if you prefer. But I like to play it safe and use cold water all the time. Okay, let's have a look, shall we? There you go. Completely gone. Does your final floor look like this, full of ugly scuff marks from people's shoes? Well, how about this? Kids' marker artwork. It's a well-known fact that if you give a kid a marker and a pad of paper, the artwork will generally end up on either the wall or the floor. Well, not to worry. This is your lucky day. I'm going to show you how to remove these marks in short order. First of all, let's deal with the scuff marks. Believe it or not, the best way to remove them is by using something you clean your teeth with. Yes, you got it, toothpaste. Toothpaste is one of the most versatile items you have in your home. I've used it for everything from filling nail holes to drying out pimples. But today, we're going to put it to work on these nasty scuff marks here. Now, I like to use the white variety of toothpaste. I don't know why, but it seems to work better for me. All you do is apply some toothpaste to the mark, like I've done here, and then you simply rub it with a cloth, like so. And there. Before you know it, the scuff marks disappear. Isn't that great? But you ain't seen nothing yet. Let's deal with that unwanted floor artwork. To demonstrate, I've added a permanent marker on here. Now watch this. I've got a wet cloth with some soap on it. Let's just see how that works. Well, as you can see, it's not coming off, right? No matter how hard I rub. Well, that's why they call it permanent marker, right? Now watch. I take a can of ordinary hairspray, the cheaper the better, and I spray it over the area like this. Look at this. Already it's starting to run. Then I take the same cloth that we just used and I simply wipe it like so. Isn't this amazing? It's like magic. But it's magic we can all perform in our home. I'll never forget the time when I was a teenager and I put my favorite woolen sweater in the dryer. Imagine my surprise when I took it out an hour later and discovered that my oversized sweater was now half its original size. It was a lesson well learned, believe me. Some sweaters just can't be dried in the dryer and have to be hung up on a washing line. But even that's not without its disadvantages. What I'm talking about is the little points that the clothespins make. You know where it's pinned up on the line? When you wear it afterwards, you kind of end up looking like, well, Mr. Spock, I guess. Well, here's how you can prevent that happening. All you need is a pair of pantyhose. And this is where it gets interesting. What you need to do is you thread one leg of the pantyhose through one sleeve of the sweater, like so. Then you thread the other leg through the other sleeve, like so. I forgot to mention, you may want to do this where no one can see because it does look a little strange. Then you pull the waistband of the pantyhose through the neck hole like this, okay? And then you simply pin the pantyhose on the line instead of the sweater, like this, here, here, and here. Ta-da! While many kids may think that it's cool to have dirty, mud-stained sneakers, most parents think otherwise. Unfortunately, kids do such a good job of getting them filthy that cleaning them becomes a chore that most moms would rather avoid. Well, The secret, of course, is to find some wonder cleaner that will whisk away all that dirt with hardly any effort. And luckily, here it is. Ordinary household ammonia. Many people avoid using ammonia because of its strong, overpowering smell. Well, that is a pity because it really is an amazing cleaner for all kinds of household tasks. And if you use it with care and always in a well-ventilated area, you can enjoy the benefits of its cleaning power. I find it convenient to keep some ammonia in a spray bottle, like this one here. And that's what I'm going to use to get these white sneakers really white again. All you do is you simply spray some of the ammonia onto the sneaker, like so. Give it a good shot, and then you give it a good wipe with a cloth, like so. Now this works really well for both mud stains and grass stains. And as you can see, it's really, really easy. Now you can also use a denture toothbrush to get right into those crevices, like this. There you go, see? Then just give it a final wipe. Now all we have to deal with is a foot smell, but that's a hint for another day. Now, while we're on the subject of kids, usually when you want to get some housework done, or maybe just get a break from the kids, you send them outside to play on the grass, right? Well, while that lawn outside solves the problem of having your children underfoot, it can create another problem. What I'm referring to is this: grass-stained pants. Now, you could go out to the store and buy a commercial stain remover, which may or may not work, right? But it's going to cost you money either way. Or you could just try to find something already in your home that can perform the task. Well, here it is, that same ordinary household ammonia. First of all, make sure you're in a well-ventilated area. Ammonia has a very strong, irritating smell, which is why you want to work as fast as possible, too. You spray some ammonia onto the grass-stained area, like so. And immediately, you get to work on it with your toothbrush. Now, I find the bristles of the toothbrush get down between the fibers of the fabric, and working together with the loosening ability of the ammonia, it removes the stain in short order. Now, the next step is to rinse it well in some cold water. Remember that hot water can set a non-greasy stain, and we don't want that. There we go. That should do it. Now, let's have a look. There you are. The stain is totally gone, and I am totally happy. If you own a pet, you also own pet hair, everywhere, on your carpets, your furniture, even your clothes. Now, there are all kinds of fancy hair-removing gadgets, like those sticky roller things that clog up in no time, and also those elaborate attachments for your vacuum cleaner that are not exactly cheap. Well, let me introduce you to the best pet hair remover I've ever come across. Many people would call it a rubber dishwashing glove, but I choose to call it a pet hair removing glove, and for good reason. Let me show you what I mean. This look familiar? Well, watch this. All you do is you simply slip on your rubber glove, and then you rub your hand over the cushion like this. And look how easily it removes that pet hair. The rubber literally rolls the hair right off, and it works just as well on any fabric, from smooth satins to fluffy velours to even coarse tapestries. Isn't that neat? Of course, it works great on your clothing as well. And I also keep a rubber glove in, where else, but the glove compartment of my car. If you own pets, chances are you're going to have them in your vehicle at some time or other. And you know how the hair not only spreads across the seats themselves, but it also tends to get right down into the cracks and crevices between the seat and the seat back. Well, just by using the fingers of the glove, it enables you to access the hair and kind of roll it right out. It makes it so easy. Every pet owner, and pet hair owner I've shown this to, loves this hint. And best of all, most of us have rubber dishwashing gloves around the house, so it doesn't cost anything. Now, rubber dishwashing gloves come in handy for a lot of different reasons. One of my favorite uses for them is as a jar opener. Take this jar here, please. Now, short of dynamite, this lid is not going to come off. Well, by simply slipping on a rubber glove, it'll make that stubborn jar lid just give up and come quietly. Watch this. like so. Look how easy that was. Not only does the rubber give you a much better grip on the lid, but it also adds torsion, which helps to make the turning easier. And if by some chance you don't happen to have a rubber glove lying around at home, you're bound to have a rubber band. This will work well to open those stubborn jar lids as well. All you do is you slip the rubber band around the lid, like this, okay? And then you give it a good twist. Piece of cake, huh? Storing items like these rolls of leftover wrapping paper or even leftover rolls of wallpaper can be a problem. Because of their awkward shape, they're hard to store, and they invariably end up looking like this, all torn and crumpled at the edges and half unraveled. Well, never fear. Here comes our trusty pantyhose to the rescue. All you do is slip the roll into one of the legs of a pair of pantyhose, like I've done here, okay? And the other one in here. Once you've filled the other leg as well, as I've just done, you simply tie it on to a coat hanger, like this. And as you can see, I've already tied a couple onto the same coat hanger already. And then once you fill the coat hanger, you can then hang it in a bedroom or hall closet where it sits quietly out of the way. And when you're ready to use it, it'll be in perfect condition. What I'm holding in my hand is a humble bottle of white vinegar. What I'm also holding in my hand is one of the most versatile items I've ever come across. You wouldn't believe the variety of tasks this unassuming liquid that you can buy for less than $1 a bottle can be used for around the home. From making your chocolate cakes moist, to relieving the itch from mosquito bites, to ensuring that your concrete paint adheres better, vinegar performs a multitude of jobs that can make your life easier. But it's vinegar's cleaning abilities that I want to talk about today. It is without doubt one of the most multi-purpose, environment-friendly cleaners available, especially for the bathroom. Let me show you what I mean. What we've got here is a really grimy soap-stained faucet. Now, there are a variety of chrome cleaners on the market that promise to do wonderful things for your chrome fittings and faucets. They also charge wonderful prices for them, by the way. But why not give our bottle of vinegar a shot at it? Let's just pour some vinegar, I prefer the white variety, onto a soft cloth, like so. And then we'll give it a wipe, like so. Look at this. See how easy it cuts through the dirt? Look at the shine it leaves. And then for the hard-to-reach spots, I simply put a little vinegar onto my denture toothbrush and then scrub away like so. Then I just buff it up with a paper towel like this, and look at that. There you have it. Need some sunglasses? How often do you clean your silver jewelry? Probably as seldom as possible. It's not the most popular task, is it? All those tiny little crevices that you have to get into? Well, I'm going to show you how you can clean every piece of silver jewelry you own in a matter of minutes, with hardly any effort at all. As you can see, these pieces here are really badly tarnished. Well, get ready to see some magic. First of all, you need an aluminum pie plate like this one here. Now, you can also use a foil takeout container or even a small bowl lined with aluminum foil if you prefer. Then you add some ordinary table salt. Now, for this size container, I'm going to use about a teaspoon or so, like so. The next ingredient is some water softener, about the same amount as the salt, like that. And then you add some hot water, like this. Not too hot. You don't want to burn yourself. And then, once you've done that, you stir it well to dissolve the salt and the water softener. And by the way, some people have asked me what exactly water softener is. Well, it's a product that's used mainly to whiten and brighten your wash by softening the wash water. But that's just one of many uses for it. If you don't have any at home, make sure you go out and get some. You can usually find it in the laundry section of your supermarket. Now, here are two pieces that are really badly tarnished. In fact, they look almost bronze, don't they? Well, let's put this one in the water, like so. And then we'll just take it out like so. Look at the difference. And it happens almost instantly. Let's put the other one in. There. Now look at that. It's done already. And the best part of it is that it gets right into those intricate parts and crevices without having to scrub away for hours. Then all you do is rinse them off in some cool water, and they're done. Now, I'm just doing one piece at a time, but what you would do at home is you'd put a whole bunch in at the same time, like this. Look at this. And then you take them out, like this. Now, as you can see, it's great for cleaning your spoon collection. Look how it makes short work of those tiny little awkward areas. Isn't that great? Oh, and by the way, the only time you wouldn't use this method is if you need to clean silver jewelry that has antiquing on it, or items that contain stones. You know, it actually makes cleaning silver jewelry fun, doesn't it? Bet you thought you could never say that.
We'll be right back with more of Haley's Household Heroes in a moment.
Back again with your public television station, here to tell you you've got to do a very important thing right now. You're getting all these wonderful hints. We're saving you tons of time in your home. We're saving you lots of money. So right now what we need you to do is take just a little time and a little money and support public television. How do you do it? You go to the phone right now. The number's on your screen. Call in and pledge your support to keep this kind of programming coming in. Now, the important thing is when you pledge, we have lots of ways to say thank you. First of all, of course, you can always start with a basic membership, and we always appreciate that, and that's the most important thing, if you think about it, to become part of public television. Now, a lot of people out there want to know more of what they're seeing today, so if you can go to a $75 level in your pledge, we'll say thank you with Haley's Cleaning Hints book. $75 level. It's our way of saying thank you if you pledge that much. Over 1,000 hints in this book from cleaning just about everything, from pet accidents to spaghetti stains. It's all in here, and let's hope those two don't come together in any weird way or shape. Okay, then if you can go a little bit higher, the $150 level, how do we say thank you? Because we're not selling these things. These are our ways of showing our appreciation for what you have just pledged. $150, we say thank you with 2 videotapes. It's Haley's Hints and Haley's Hints 2. You're watching Haley's Hints 2 right now. These tapes each have 20 extra minutes on it. What does that mean? 40 extra minutes between the two. That is, what is that? A whole extra program. Our way of saying thank you at the $150 level. Now, throughout the day, we have been talking about the big book, the master book, Haley's Hints. How do you get this book? This comes in a very special combo pack we have for you at the $240 level. Now, I know when I say $240, you think, that's an awful lot. Actually, less than 70 cents a day. Think about some of the tips you've picked up today and how much money you've saved by that. There's one coming up in a second, because I can see the demo area, and they're getting ready, because, did I tell you? Graham Haley's here. He's going to show you my favorite hint in just a couple seconds. You'll save tons of money. So, $240 level, you get this book, the master book, over 2,000 hints. You get with that the cleaning book. I keep reaching over there. There you go. These 2 books, you get not one, but both videotapes. I've got them upside down. There we go, all of that. Plus, you're going to get the portable slide chart, what's called the Tip Tote. It's got things for cleaning stains, removals of stains, and a great shopping list. And if you charge at any level from a basic membership on, we'll toss this in for free just to say thank you. But you don't want to go anywhere right now, because Graham is here with my favorite demo. I sure hope that's what he's starting on. Right now, here are Graham and Doris.
I think we're going to make Ernie wait just a little bit, because I want to talk about these 2 wonderful books. What's the difference between these 2?
Well, basically, this is our cleaning book. That has over 1,000 ways to make your cleaning so much easier. Believe me, it makes cleaning fun, believe it or not. And then this book here is the Haley's Hints book. This is our master book. This covers topics from kitchen ideas. For example, what do you do with those leftover soggy salads? You throw them away, right? No. All you do is you throw it in your blender, and you add some tomato juice, a little bit of Tabasco sauce, some salt and pepper to taste, a little Worcestershire sauce. Blend it up, put it in your fridge, chill it, and you have instant, free gazpacho soup right there. You'll never throw away another salad. So it's things like that. It has kitchen hints, it has plumbing hints, electrical, carpentry,
I love the one
gardening.
about the rugs, the corners curling.
Exactly. It's a safety thing, too. There's a lot of safety hints in it, ways to prevent accidents around the home, like your rug corners curling. All it is a floor tile. You saw it earlier on in the show.
Getting rid of ants.
Oh, yeah, getting rid of ants, yes.
That's a big one.
Oh, yeah, we have 5 or 6 different solutions for ants, because we have the whole pest control chapter. We have pet a chapter just for pet owners. We also have a chapter in there for parenting tips. Clever things you can do with your child. For example, the first time he uses a babysitter. Well, all you do is you record his favorite story or his favorite poem on the tape recorder and let the babysitter play it to him or her while you're away, and they can hear your voice. It's familiar. It's a great little tip.
I love
so
that
things
because
like
the two books are distinctly different. Yeah.
Absolutely. The master book
This
is
the book
400
really
pages,
yeah.
and that has over 2,000 hints in it.
And
this one has 1,000 hints. It's a 250-page book, and both have easy find indexes, so you can get to the solution you need instantly, because a lot of accidents happen, and it's an emergency. You've got to solve them quickly. But speaking of solving...
I know, but you have a wonderful summertime hint that I love.
That is good, isn't it?
The lawn chairs.
Yeah, the plastic patio
ones.
chairs.
Yeah, plastic patio.
So easy to clean. Believe me, you don't throw them. People throw them away. You don't need to. A little bit of bleach, a little bit of dish soap, and you're off to the races. Believe me, it works really well. It's in the book.
Okay, we got a demo. Ernie's favorite.
Okay, this is how you... And again, for people who just tuned in and missed this, this is how you store your large, bulky items. Rather than making extra storage space, throw your bulky items, like I got 3 bulky pillows, into a garbage bag, a regular garbage bag, and then you take your vacuum cleaner hose and you put it between the items like that. And then you pull the garbage bag tight around the hose, and you can do this with your pillows, you can do it with your winter clothes, your summer clothes, anything you want to store. And what happens is it shrinks the items down to about 1/6 of their normal size. And
this,
as I said, this could be your winter clothes, it could be your summer clothes, it could be blankets, it could be comforters. And then once it's down to its shrunk as far as it'll go, like so, you then switch your vacuum cleaner off.
Goodness, look at that.
Spin it like this, okay? Okay, and there, I'll hold her up to the camera. You can just see, there's a close-up camera there. Look how thin that is.
Do you know how much money you have just saved by doing that?
And then you take a rubber band, put it around the top, tighten it, and then what I usually do is I put it in either an old suitcase in the basement, or I put it in a pillow slip or a pillow sham.
There we go.
And we won't even actually put it in, but I'll just show you. All you do is slip it into the pillow sham like that, and you can store 6 pillows and 1 comforter inside 1 pillow sham, and it's on your bed. Isn't that great? And then when you want to use it again, all you do is take the rubber band off, open it up, and it bounces back to its former shape yet again.
You know, that's why it's so important to have this book, because in this master book, you'll get so many tips like that. Money-saving tips, time-saving tips.
Oh, absolutely.
It is really great.
Very much so.
Let's see one more before I go ahead and tell you how to get this book.
What I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a little bit of show and tell. I'm just trying to show you our books are extraordinary uses for ordinary items. That's what that's our whole point in life is providing that for you. You mentioned ants. I'm just going to talk a little bit about ants. If you have an ant problem, uncles I can't do anything about, but the ants I can sort it. No, just joking. Okay, a little bit of bad humor there. Okay. Cucumber peelings. Cucumber peelings, all you do is you leave some cucumber peelings out, sprinkle them with a little bit of salt, and that will stop the ants coming into your home. Ants also, if you find out where they're coming in, you take a piece of ordinary blackboard chalk, and you draw a chalk line across the area where they're coming in. Ants won't cross over a chalk line. I don't know what it is. Maybe they had a bad school life, but they won't cross over a chalk line. Yeah, there you go. Or sage. Sage is wonderful. Sprinkle some sage down, and they hate sage. There's some sage advice for you. There you go. Okay.
Humor in the cleaning.
And these are all ordinary items that you already have in your home.
That is what is unique about your book and all the tips that you give. These are things that are in the home. We won't be lured into all that commercial stuff that's going to waste our time and our money.
Yeah.
And we can get it here at public television, because by helping public television at the $240 level, you'll get the Haley Hints videotapes, Haley Hints and Haley's Hints 2. Then you'll get the Haley's Cleaning Hints. And this is what you want, because everything that we're talking about, all this time-saving stuff, is coming from, we call the master source here, and that is our Haley's Hints. And I love this book. Every time I open a page, I find something I can use.
That's right. Oh, it's full of wonderful information. And the beauty of it is all uses items that you already have in your home. What sense of satisfaction that is, knowing you did it with something you have off the shelf. Isn't that great?
That's right, because you can either eat the product or clean with it.
Exactly. There you go. That's
Let's go and talk to Ernie for a minute.
Okay, and the thing that I want to mention to you, earlier Graham and I were talking, and he mentioned, you know, stain removers. You go to, how many times has this happened to you? It's happened to me. You go to the store and you buy something, you bring it home and you try it, and it doesn't work. So you toss it aside, you're out that money, and you didn't get rid of the stain. In these books, you're using things that are already in your home, and if one doesn't work, one stain remover, there's another one, and another one, and another one. One thing that scares me, though, I know my mom's at home watching right now, and I know when she's in town visiting me, when I come home, I'm going to find everything I own sucked into little garbage bags, because that's just such a cool thing. Great space-saving tip. Just one of many, many tips that are in those books, in the books that we're going to offer to you, that we're offering to you right now. The important thing is, though, all the stuff that public television offers to you. We offer you great tips, great ideas on how to live a more enriched and fulfilled life, be it from painting and education shows up through the business reports and the news programming. It's all there. And why are we doing this for you? Because we want your life to be the fullest, to be complete, to be fun and entertained and informed. And the way you do that is by pledging and supporting public television. Because the more you do that, the more of this kind of programming we can bring to you. Now, I've got the master book right here, the Haley's Hints book that we've been talking about. That's available in the $240 level item. Let me tell you this one. I love this one. Have you ever painted a room and the smell of paint? What do? Now, I don't know. I assume it works. It's in the book. Listen to this. Freshly paint, leave a pail of water out, and that'll take away the smell. Now, there's something I never thought. How much does that cost you? Nothing. Now, the important thing, though, is that you go to the phones and you make that pledge, and you do it right now to public television. Remember, basic membership starts you off. If you charge at that level or anything above, we'll say thank you with the tip tote. It's a great little idea full of how to pick the right fresh fruits and vegetables, to knowing the amounts of a particular thing. How many chicken legs, how many servings are in a pound and a half of chicken legs? It's on here, but there's also cleaning tips. Then you move on up the cleaning book, $75 level, we'll say thank you with that. $150, both videotapes, that's Haley's Hints 2, both of them are in there. And for the $240 level, as I've said, less than 70 cents a day, you get it all. You get the whole thing, the 2 books, the 2 videotapes, the tips, all that. Guess who's got more tips for you right now, though? Doris and Graham Haley.
Okay, Graham, we're back, and we're talking about eating some of the products, and you've got 2 things up here.
Well, yeah, exactly. As I was saying, you know, my point in life is to provide you with extraordinary uses for these ordinary items that you have in your home. So let's talk about a few. You know, when you're doing your dishwashing, you're washing your dishes, right? And you come to a little point in your on whatever you're washing, like a pot or whatever, and there's a little piece of stuff there that you can't quite get off. So you use your fingernail to scratch it off.
And you break your nail.
You break your nail, ruin your nail polish, your manicure, and all that kind of thing. Well, all you do is sew a little plastic button onto your dishcloth, onto each dishcloth. That way, you're washing away and you come to a spot, all you do is take a little plastic button and then just scrape it off.
Oh, that is
and
unique.
Off to the races.
I like that.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Just a little plastic button.
That is so simple.
Right on the corner, right there.
And that tip is in what book?
And that is in our large book, in the master book, that one there. And we should just quickly go through the chapters quickly, just so that you can tell what's in here. We've really, this was our original book.
Kitchen magic.
Yeah, and that covers everything for the kitchen. You saw that recipe pants hanger, how to store your recipe books and to make them easy to read. Order in the House. Order in the House covers everything from bathroom to furniture care, your carpeting, all that kind of stuff. Laundry Day Helpers, everything for the laundry. We have a Stitch in Time, which is sewing and mending hints. How to thread a needle like that. No problem at all if you know how. You know what you do? One of the ways. Instead of wetting the end of the thread of the needle, wet the end of the needle itself. Not the pointy end, the blunt end. And what happens is that the saliva draws the thread through the needle rather than sort of stopping there and jamming.
Tip.
Or you can use some hairspray, that stiffens it up as well.
That'll do it also.
Now, we also got Kids Corner, which is parenting tips, especially for seniors. A whole chapter devoted just to seniors. Seniors, making life easier for seniors. How you will never have to bend over and tie a shoelace again. Clever way to tie your shoes.
Yeah.
The Home Handy Person covers everything from painting to plumbing, electrical, carpentry, that kind of stuff. I mentioned the easy appliance repair, that kind of thing. Pest Peeves is pest control. Pet owners, a pet parade, gardening, huge gardening chapter, even the car mechanic, roughing it the easy way is outdoor hints for camping and picnicking, sporting life, 9 to 5, office hints, and just for you, personal hints on how to make your own facials, scrubs, moisturizers. You don't need those expensive items. Make it with what you got in your home.
I just want to remind everybody real quick while we're having a little break here of what you get. $240 level. This is what you can get. Do you remember we were talking about this? If you charge, you get 2 of these tip totes.
That's right.
And as Ernie said, you can just go to like Beans and it'll tell you how to pick them. You want them firm, you want them great.
That's
then,
right. Great
if you're
shopping
charging,
guide.
get 2 of those in our $240 combo. Then you're going to get our Haley's cleaning hints. And you've seen some of the things he's done.
That's right.
The silver.
Solutions to over 250 different stains in the Cleaning Hints book alone.
Our little household heroes, we're going to get over 1,000 ways to clean things in the home.
Right.
And then we're going to have Haley's Hints, the video, and then Haley's Hints too. But what we really want this Master Source book.
That's
This book
right,
has everything in it. You can go to household, you can go to cars, you can go to, here's one, buying the perfect gift. How did it get that for a senior? Anything you're looking for, it is in this book. You can just go to the shelf once, you'll go to the shelf twice, you'll go to the shelf like 5 or 6 times in 1 week.
Yeah, stop your bathroom mirror from fogging. You know, that's something that we put up with all our lives. You know, that bathroom, you just wipe it with your hand. Never again. A little Boba shaving cream, rub it on, rub it off, get it all nice and shiny, and your bathroom mirror won't fog up for 4 weeks. And it also works on your glasses. When you come in from the cold and your glasses fog up, apply the shaving cream. Don't forget, remove your glasses first before applying the shaving cream.
That's
very important.
I've only had your book for like 2 weeks now, and I've gone to it at least 4 times in 1 week.
There you go. You can save the price of your pledge probably with
one tip. With
hint,
one tip.
You know? And you know, you think about it, with public television doesn't use commercials. We don't use commercials either. No commercial products. Use what you got in your home.
That's
so
right.
we have a symbiotic relationship with public television,
that.
don't we, really? The same kind of thing. No commercials.
Well, what are you going to do with that mayo?
Oh, mayo. Oh, mayo is so good. Mayonnaise. Okay, if you have a water ring, you know, when you put something down and it's wet and your furniture gets has that white ring on it, well, just apply a blob of mayonnaise onto it, rub it in, leave it for about 3 or 4 hours at least, preferably overnight, and then the next day, when you wipe it off, you will wipe the water ring off with it at the same time. It is amazing, believe me.
Wow.
Totally. Okay.
One more.
Peanut butter. If you ever have chewing gum, or if your little girl or your little boy has chewing gum in his or her hair, this is the best thing for taking chewing gum out. Believe me, you just rub it in and then comb it out. It is unbelievable. Regular peanut butter. Peanut butter is also very good for if you've burnt your gravy. You're making your gravy and it burns. Put a spoon of peanut butter in, stir it, takes the burnt flavor away. You don't notice the peanut butter taste. It's great. Peanut butter.
Let's go over to Ernie really quick. I'm going to come back and tell you about all of this one more time. Ernie?
It's funny, if you sit there and think about how many hints have you heard today? 20, 30? I'd say with the show, 40, 45. What if I said 2,000 of them in this book? Isn't that kind of amazing? And I stand here, I'm in my spot where I'm supposed to be doing my job, and I keep watching over there all the things they're saying, and I get so caught up with it. It's the kind of thing, if you've got one of these books, you probably get it in the mail first and you read through it, looking for things, clever little ideas. Then you put it on the shelf as they were talking about, and every time something happens, notice how many times you'll go back to these books. Our important thing, though, is how many times you come back to public television. How many times do you tune out to those commercial channels and think, wait a minute, what are they doing on PBS? And you come back and you find something of interest, something that excites you, something you wouldn't see anywhere else. Right here at this station is where you tune. You tune here for educational programs, for entertaining programs. You tune here for information, for business, for news, for children's programming. It's all right here on public television. So the important thing right now is to make your pledge of support to public television and continue this kind of great quality programming into your homes. How do you do it? You make a phone call. But that's not the end of it. Because if you can pledge at the $75 level, we will say thank you with the cleaning book. Yep, he's going to tell you how to clean everything right across the board. And then, if you want to go a little higher, at the $150 level, I'm going to pick these up better than I did last time. Right here, the 2 videotapes. Yep, earlier show, this show, both right here, plus 40 extra minutes of material. They're all right here, the $150 level. It's our way of saying thank you. Where can you buy these if you don't buy them right here, right now? Of course, you're not buying them. We're giving them to you as a thank you gift. Because you know what? You can't buy them anywhere. The only place you can get them is right here from your public television station. Do it right now. Make that call at the $150 level. We'll say thank you with both of those. And then, for those of you who really want to clean everything, have every hint you ever needed to know, it's all there. $240, 2 books, 2 videotapes, the little tote chart thingy-majigger, they're going to tell you all about it. They're over there right now. Here's Graham and Doris.
The tiptoe, not the tote thingamajigger. You got me saying it too now.
It is the tiptoe. And we talked about removing ballpoint pen,
it has all the common stains,
all the common stuff.
Stains, yeah.
And then we talked about getting our Haley's cleaning hints, and then our 2 videos, and of course, this is the one we want, the Master Source. Yeah. Because this is what you're adding to, because we can get all the other stuff at another level.
Absolutely.
But when you go at the 240 level, this is the book you get, and this is the book that has everything. It's the source.
And we should also mention that the Tiptoe is exclusive to PBS. You can't design
wasn't that nice? Graham was so nice. He did this just for PBS, our public television, you know?
What's that?
That's a spoon.
No, it's not.
Okay.
That is a garlic and onion smell remover. Believe it or not. If you're cutting garlic or onion and you get that smell on your fingers like that, all you do is take a stainless steel spoon, must be stainless steel, and you run it under cold water, hold it and run it under cold water like that. and that will literally, within about 15 seconds, it'll take all the smell, the garlic and the onion right away.
Just your spoon?
Yeah. If it's garlic breath, sure, coffee bean. Works really well.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. The ordinary item that you have in your home. Here's another ordinary item that you have in your home.
Pantyhose?
Pantyhose. Never be without your pantyhose. Ernie, never be without your pantyhose. Remember that. Okay. I'm never without my pantyhose. Believe me, it is so useful. First of all, I just bought a pickup truck, by the way. I use it to tie items onto my pickup truck. It's strong. It's such strong rope, believe me. You can use it for all kinds of things.
Reinforced toe?
Well, doesn't matter, whatever it is. By the way, speaking of reinforced toes, if you want to extend the life of your pantyhose, get some hairspray, regular hairspray, spray the toe area, because that's where you get the holes first, and you get the ladders from there, the runs right from there. Spray the area, it firms them up. You will literally double and treble the life of your pantyhose that way. So there you go.
That is a good tip.
Yeah.
You had another one in here that I love, how to make your tablecloth last longer. By always...
Oh, yes. You basically, with spray starch.
Yes.
Spray starch, and that does a kind of a stain prevention thing.
Right.
It's kind of neat that way, too.
I love that tip.
Perfume, great for keeping your cats off your couch. Ordinary perfume, the cheaper the better.
Well, you know what? We're going to go to another segment and see what Graham... This time, you know, earlier we saw the candle wax remover. This time, you're going to see how he removes candle wax from wood furniture and carpet. Stay tuned and watch.
One of the most frequent questions I get asked is, how do I get candle wax off my carpet? People try to pick it off, they try to scrape it off, they try all sorts of ways to remove it to no avail. The only solution is to have it professionally removed, right? Wrong. It's so easy if you know how. Here's what you do. First of all, you take an ordinary paper towel and you fold it in half, like so. And then you position it over the wax spill, like so. And then you place a medium heat iron on top of the paper towel and just leave it there for a few seconds. Now what it's doing is melting the wax and soaking it up into the paper towel. Let's have a look at it. There. You can see it already is working. Now don't move the iron around, because that will tend to spread the stain. Now you just move the towel to a different position like I've just done every few seconds or so, and then repeat the process until all the wax is absorbed. That's all you have to do. And also make sure that your iron is set on medium, not on hot. Otherwise you could end up scorching your carpet, and then you'd need another Haley's in to remove the scorch mark. Now when you see that no more wax is showing on the paper towel, you're pretty well done. Unless it's colored wax you're dealing with. Then you're often left with a faint residue like I've got over here. And that's from the colored dye in the candle, you see? Now in order to remove that, it requires a trip to the bathroom to fetch a toothbrush and some rubbing alcohol, sometimes called isopropyl alcohol. Now if you don't have it at home, you really should. You can buy it in the pharmacy. I use it for a lot of different tasks around the house. Anyway, before you apply it to the stain, it's always a good idea to test the carpet for color fastness first. You simply apply a little of the rubbing alcohol to an inconspicuous area of the carpet, like under the sofa or something like that. Now, always testing for color fastness is a good habit to get into with any kind of stain removing process, no matter what kind of stain remover you're using. Then you just pour a little of the rubbing alcohol onto the stain, and then give it a good brush with a toothbrush, like so. And by the way, this is a denture toothbrush that I'm using. It has nice firm bristles for brushing carpets and the like. It also has this little brush on the other side here, which accesses hard to reach areas like corners and things. Now we'll just give this a little bit more of a rub here, like this, and there. Look at that. No more mark. Do you know, you have just saved your carpet and a whole lot of money into the bargain. You know, for setting the mood at the dinner table, there's nothing quite like a beautiful candle. However, if that candle accidentally gets knocked over, that mood may turn ugly. Removing candle wax from a wooden surface can be difficult to do without damaging it, especially if you try to scrape it off, which is usually what most people attempt to do. But all is not lost. Here's a clever tip you can safely use when you next discover a wax spill on your expensive tabletop. First, pop into the bathroom and fetch the hairdryer. Also, make sure you have some paper towels on hand. The next step is to turn your hairdryer on and direct the warm air directly onto the wax spill like so. And by the way, this method also works with wax crayon marks on your furniture. It's basically the same principle. Now, after a while, the wax will start to get soft, and then it'll begin to melt with the heat from the hairdryer like it's doing now. And you'll notice that it starts to liquefy, and it runs when it's blown by the air from the hairdryer. Now, this is when you use the paper towel. As it runs, you wipe up the liquefied wax with a paper towel. And then you just keep on doing this until all the wax is gone. Now, sometimes there can be a little greasy residue, so you may want to remove it with a mild white vinegar and water solution. All you do is wet a soft cloth with the solution and give the area a good wipe down, like this. And then dry it off and get ready for your next candlelight dinner. After your patio umbrella has done its duty of keeping the sun off you through the summer, and it's time to put it away for the winter, promise me you'll never store it in the plastic sleeve it came in, or a plastic garbage bag for that matter. Patio umbrellas, like all of us, need to breathe. Here's how you should store them instead. In pantyhose. Yes. Here's yet another clever use for our trusty old pantyhose. Here's what you do with it. Ta-da! All you do is stretch one leg of the pantyhose over the whole umbrella like this. One size fits all. And then you tie the other leg around the handle at the top here to hold it in place. And that's all there is to it. Not only will this keep it snug as a bug in a rug all winter long, but it'll also allow the umbrella to breathe. And this will help prevent mildew, which prevents rot, which prevents you having to go out and buy a new umbrella. And it also prevents spiders and bugs from nesting in the folds. Isn't that a neat idea? So remember, never, ever be without your pantyhose. Often when it comes to cleaning areas like kitchen sinks or even walls, elbow grease just isn't enough. You need a little extra help from a scouring powder. Unfortunately, when using regular scouring powders, you also run the risk of the powder being too rough on the surface. What you need, of course, is a gentle scouring powder that still works well. Would you like to learn how to make your own? It's real easy. All you need is these two products: borax, which cleans and brightens, and baking soda, which cleans and cuts grease. Take a bowl and simply mix 1 part of baking soda, like so, with 2 parts of borax, like so. Then you make sure it's combined really well, and you'll find that you end up with a powder that is much softer than most of those harsh scouring powders. I usually decant mine into a shaker that I make from a little jar with holes punched into the lid. Neat, huh? So much for the preparation. Let's show you how well it works. We'll just sprinkle some on this dirty sink here, like so. And we'll also sprinkle some on a soft, damp cloth. Then we simply give it a wipe, like this. And look at this. You see how it cuts right through the dirt and the grease? Then we just rinse it off with some water, like so. And then we're going to buff it dry with a paper towel, or a dry cloth if you prefer. And look at this shine. Isn't that amazing? But you ain't seen nothing yet. Look how well it works on walls that have fallen prey to the kids' dirty hands. You know, especially around the light switches. Well, your homemade scourer will make short work of these. Now watch this. And best of all, it removes these marks without harming the wall's surface. Believe it or not, I've even used it on a wall that's had kids' markers scribbled all over it. And here's the bonus. You know exactly what's in it because you made it. get a lot of email and mail sent in to us, so I thought I'd take a few minutes and answer a couple of them that I think you'll find really interesting, especially the solutions. Okay, we got an email here from Janet from Fort Myers Beach. Nice and warm down there, Janet, I'll bet. I have these awful yellow stains in my bathtub. They've formed around the plug hole and also down the side of the tub under the faucets. I just can't seem to remove them. Yeah, been there, Janet, that's for sure. The stains are usually caused by hard water, so the easiest way to get rid of them is a combination of hydrogen peroxide and cream of tartar. What you do is you mix ordinary, you know what cream of tartar is? It's that, the stuff that you use to make scones and meringues out of. Great stuff, amazing for cleaning. What you do is you mix some of that with the hydrogen peroxide, 3% hydrogen peroxide, you probably got it in your medicine cabinet right now. Make it into a paste and you apply it with a scourer and that will clean it out beautifully. It is amazing. We had one lady write in and said that she had stains on her bathtub, real bad. They hadn't cleaned their bathtub, wait for this, in 12 years. 12 years. I'm not even going to go where try to find out what circumstances that happened under. Anyway, she cleaned it with this little concoction that I've mentioned, and it is amazing. It works really well, so try it and see. Let's see, what else have we got here? Oh, wait a minute. We don't have a question next. We have a hint sent in to us. We get a lot of hints sent to us. It's wonderful. We love it. Dear Graham, I just wanted to pass on a great tip that my mother uses all the time. She sews a lot, and when she needs to thread a needle, she first sprays a little spray starch onto the thread. It makes it stiff so that it slides easily through the eye without bending the thread. Hope this comes in handy. Regards, Jennifer. Well, it certainly does come in handy. That's a great handy tip. What you can also use, by the way, if you don't have any spray starch around the house, is you can also use hairspray. That will also stiffen the thread enough to make it pass through the eye of the needle a lot easily. But you're going to love this one. This is amazing. You know, most people, when they thread the eye of the needle, they take the thread and they wet the end of the thread with their saliva, right? Instead of wetting the end of the thread, wet the end of the needle instead with the saliva. No, not the pointy end, the blunt end, okay? Remember that. And it is amazing. What it does is it kind of draws the thread through the hole, and it works so well. So that's what's for our questions today. Let's return to our regular programming, shall we? There are few things that can ruin the appearance of a good pair of shoes than those unsightly scuff marks. The trouble is, you usually discover them at the last minute when you're about to go out on that hot date or that important business meeting. If you don't have time to change your whole outfit to match another pair of shoes, you might want to try this little trick. Go and fetch a tube of toothpaste from your bathroom. Then, just put a little bit of it in a soft cloth and apply it to the scuff mark like so. Then give it a rub like so. And this makes short work of these scuff marks. In no time at all, they'll look brand new again. Now we're just going to buff it up. Best thing for buffing up shoes is a little pantyhose. Like so. There you go. Brand new. Now, let's talk a little bit about children's stains on their clothing. Probably one of the most stubborn stains to remove is the stain that strikes fear in the hearts of moms. You come into the kitchen and discover that your little darling has been experimenting with the chocolate sauce and is now wearing their creation all over their expensive, beautiful little white top. Ah, yes, the impossible chocolate stain. Well, nothing's impossible if you know the secret. So if your kid's favorite shirt looks something like this, don't consign it to the garbage. You can save it very easily and quickly. Here's how. Go to your laundry and fetch the box of water softener. Pour some warm water into a container like I've done here, or your sink if you prefer, and add a few tablespoons or so of water softener. Stir it in well till it's all dissolved. And by the way, if you don't have water softener at home, do yourself a favor and pop down to your supermarket and buy some. You usually find it in the laundry section. It's so useful. There are literally dozens of uses for it in the home, from cleaning your burnt coffee carafes to loosening burnt food from your broiler pans to cleaning your silver. The list goes on. Then once it's all dissolved, all you do is take the garment and place it in the solution like so. And then agitate it a little. Now don't get it angry, just agitate it a little. Like this. There you go. And before you know it, that dreadful brown stain is a thing of the past. Look at that. Wasn't that easy? There are many furniture polishers on the market today, which for a price will do a pretty good job of polishing your furniture. Unfortunately, many of them tend to leave an oily residue that's not only unpleasant to touch or rub against, but also tends to attract dust. So I'm now going to show you how to create your own non-greasy furniture polish that works like a charm. Are you ready? Here goes. You just need 3 items: some white vinegar, some turpentine, and some boiled linseed oil. First, pour some vinegar into a container, like so. Now the vinegar acts as a cleaner and an antibacterial agent. Then you add an equal amount of turpentine, like this. Now turpentine is the grease cutter in the recipe. And last but not least, you add an equal amount of boiled linseed oil. Now this is the oil that many carpenters use to bring out the grain in exotic wooden pieces they make. Even though it's an oil, it tends to evaporate quickly. Hence it doesn't leave a greasy residue. Now make sure you use the boiled variety, not raw linseed oil. That's used for a completely different purpose. And then once it's all mixed together, you decant it into an applicator like this one here. Now we'll apply a little of this to this grimy, dull piece here. Oh, yuck. And then we give it a good rub with a soft cloth, like this. Now, not only does this polish remove the grease and dirt from the piece, but as you will see, it leaves a beautiful glow to the surface that is non-greasy. Just look at that difference. Now, if you so desire, you can also add your own fragrance to the recipe. I've used a teaspoon or 2 of almond oil in here, but you can use tea tree, lemon, or even peppermint oil works too. Now, here's an added bonus, by the way. I discovered quite by accident that it's also great for removing paper labels from wood. Yeah, you just wipe some of the polish over the label, leave it to soak for a minute or 2, and then wipe it off with a soft cloth. But make sure you keep it well hidden. Your friends and neighbors will love it too. Do these burner pans look familiar to you? It's really hard to keep them looking clean and shiny, what with pot spills combined with the intense heat from the burner rings. I mean, you can't even scratch this stuff off. Look at this. Now, many people choose to simply replace them rather than trying to clean them, which can get pricey. Well, there is another solution, and it involves using 2 kitchen ingredients. Let me show you what I mean. What I've got here is a bottle of ordinary white vinegar and a container of cream of tartar. You know the stuff you use to bake scones and meringues with? Well, first of all, you mix the 2 together like this. Now, you want to get to the consistency of a thin paste. Now, once you've done this, you then simply apply it to the burner pan like this. Now, if the buildup is really, really bad, you may want to leave it on for an hour or 2 to soak through. But this one is not too bad. Then I like to take one of those sponges that has a gentle scouring pad on it and just give it a good scrub like I'm doing here. Now look at this, already it's coming off. Isn't this great? Now this method also works on those burned-on broiler pans as well as grimy oven windows. And in a second or 2, I'll show you how it works on your stained casserole dishes. Now that I've loosened it, I'm just going to rinse it off in some cool water, like this.